Hello and welcome to HOSA Updates for the CTE Summer Conference 2022. This is Jennifer Epperson, the new North Carolina HOSA Executive Director. We have a lot going on upcoming for this new year. First, we want to address contact information. North Carolina HOSA's address has changed, so please make sure you update your records. As you can see, the new address is P.O. Box 430, Mount Airy, North Carolina 27030. Please make sure you do not mail conference items or payments anymore to the Raleigh or Sylva addresses. All conference fees must be mailed to the Mount Airy address. We also have a new phone number for North Carolina HOSA. The number is 336-756-7776. This number also accepts text messages, so feel free to call or send a text if you need me. Please make sure you identify yourself and which school you are from so that I can easier locate you. We also have a new W-9 on our website if you need that for your school to process the address change to send payments to the new address. It can be found in the North Carolina HOSA Handbook, Section A, and you will see it listed as NC HOSA W-9. Here are some updated email addresses for you. For general information, you can send emails to nchosa@nchosa.org. The email address for myself is jennifer.epperson@nchosa.org. If you have questions pertaining to the Regional Leadership Conference when that time rolls around, you can send them to rlc@nchosa.org. State Leadership Conference emails can go to slc@nchosa.org. If you need to reach your region board rep, make sure you visit the North Carolina HOSA website. Click on Regions and find your appropriate region, and you will have contact information for your assigned board representative listed there. There are also additional board representatives on the North Carolina HOSA Board of Directors that are not region reps, so if you need assistance from any of them, please look under the About menu for the list of the Board of Directors and you will find information there. Once again, we need you to complete the advisor information form. There is a link here in this slideshow, or you can go to the handbook on the North Carolina HOSA website, click on Section D and where it says Local Chapter Advisor Information Form. This is a mandatory form that we need you to complete. It will ask for your name, email, and contact information. It will also ask for your principal, CTE director, and finance officer information if you have that available. This allows us to have updated information in case we need to contact you for any reason. Please make sure that you list your cell phone number in addition to your school number so that we are able to contact you during the summer months when you may not be at school or checking your school email. For email signature blocks, whether it be on your desktop computers or on your cell phones, we do request that you make sure you list out your school name. Do not use abbreviations. As you can see, SMHS stands for two different HOSA chapters that we have. So it's very important that school names are spelled out so we know who you are and what school you are from. Also list your North Carolina HOSA region. If you're unsure which region you fall in, on the North Carolina HOSA website at the bottom of the page, there is a map that breaks out each county within each region so you can identify the correct location. Also have your phone number. That makes it even easier for me to contact you. The Executive Director newsletter is a wonderful way of getting monthly information. This is sent out by the 5th of each month. It's the best method of communication. There will be all kinds of updates sent out at least monthly, sometimes more often, depending on what kind of events are coming up. If you have not registered for the Executive Director newsletter, please go to the website. When you get to nchosa.org, up in the top right area, you may see a drop down for news. Click on News, and then you will see a selection for the Executive Director newsletter. There you will have a form to complete, and this will automatically subscribe you to this newsletter. Subscribing to this newsletter does not mean you're going to get a bunch of junk mail from people. We do not sell this list to anyone. If you want to look at past issues of the Executive Director newsletter, they are also located in the same section on the website. If you have CTE directors, principals, other administration people, or your career development coordinators, also recommend that they subscribe to the Executive Director newsletter. That way they will stay up to date on all things HOSA. Affiliation. Affiliation will be starting before we know it. When you affiliate your students in the HOSA system, this is the one and only time that you will send money to the Texas address for HOSA. This is HOSA Inc., our national headquarters. So all affiliation fees will be mailed to this address. Everything else that you send in to North Carolina HOSA will come to the Mount Airy address. Only membership affiliation fees are sent to the Southlake, Texas address. The phone number for the national office is also listed, and their email address in case you need assistance regarding affiliation. Some tips for affiliation. Make sure when you enter names of students that they are entered correctly with correct spelling and capitalization. As you can see in the pictures shown, however you enter the names is how they're going to come out on the name tags at all levels of competition, whether it be regionals, states, or internationals. These are some examples of some name issues that we had at the past International Leadership Conference. As you can see, we need complete names and proper capitalization. Email addresses are important for everyone when you're doing affiliation. Access to apps that are used for competitions could be affected. Please make sure you're entering an email address for every person you affiliate, including yourself. Even if you add people later on as chaperones or guests for different conferences, make sure that you enter an email address for them when you register them for those conferences. The International Leadership Conference had an app to use, but it was directly tied to email addresses that were in the HOSA system. So if there was not an email address, then that person did not have access to the competitive events app. Also, please make sure for students that you do not put a school email address in the HOSA system. It needs to be a personal email address for the student, such as a Gmail address. Most, if not all, school systems have firewalls on their emails that prevent students from receiving emails from outside of your school system. Therefore, they will not receive any of the HOSA emails that come to them, particularly ones that would involve competitive events or links or passwords for their test logins for competitions. Also, please ensure that we have a cell phone number and an email address that you check regularly year-round. Many times, particularly around the time of International Leadership Conference, we need to contact advisors in order to make sure that those registered are the correct ones and everything is in order. If we have a school phone number and school is out, then we are unable to reach you, and your students may not be registered correctly for International Leadership Conference. Remember, advisors, you must affiliate yourself, not just your students. If you are an advisor for two different chapters, maybe a high school chapter and a middle school chapter, you only need to affiliate with one of those. But make sure you are affiliated with a school so that you are able to register yourself and attend conferences. As I said before, all affiliation payments go to the International HOSA address in Texas. Please do not send anything other than affiliation fees to Texas. Invoices. North Carolina HOSA uses QuickBooks to invoice for all conferences. These will come to the email address that you put on your advisor information form. That information will be taken and updated in our QuickBooks system. Invoices will come to your email address, and they also can be paid by credit card or bank transfer if your school allows. Otherwise, you may continue to send checks for payment to the Mount Airy, North Carolina HOSA mailing address. The only exception to that is for membership affiliation fees, and that will go to the Texas address. You will also receive your invoices for membership fees from the International HOSA office in Texas via email. The email that is used for that is the one found in the HOSA system. So when you affiliate your students in the HOSA system, make sure you verify all of the information for your chapter, including address and phone numbers and email addresses, so that you receive pertinent information. When you mail in a payment to North Carolina HOSA for conferences, please send a copy of the invoice with the check. That helps us route your money appropriately. Also, please leave the check stub intact with the check. Do not pull off the check stub before you send it. Both the copy of the invoice and that check stub help us locate your chapter in our system so we may apply your payment appropriately. Invoices for conferences should be sent within 1 month after registration closes. Please remember, if you register a student for competition or if you affiliate a student in the HOSA system, you must pay for that registration or affiliation. There are no refunds. Once a student is registered and registration closes for conferences, then you will be responsible for that payment for that student, whether they attend conference or not. It is highly recommended that you receive payment from your students before you affiliate them or register them for conferences to ensure that you have that money. Invoices are due within 30 days, so when you receive an emailed invoice, then we would like payment to be in by 30 days. If you need an immediate invoice when you are registering for conferences or affiliating, it can be printed off of the HOSA system. There will be a demonstration on how to do that during the CTE summer conference during the live session that is on Monday, July 18th at 8 o'clock. If you are unable to attend the CTE summer conference and need assistance in printing off these invoices off the HOSA system, please let me know and I'll be happy to assist. Otherwise, you can wait for the QuickBooks invoice that will be emailed to you within the month after registration closes. Please note the registration for State Leadership Conference and International Leadership Conference can be blocked for unpaid affiliation and conference fees. So please help us out by getting your affiliation money and conference fees sent in as soon as possible after invoicing. So, important people to know for North Carolina HOSA. Here are our North Carolina Executive Council members. These are our state officers. Our president for this year will be Nicholas Ballard. Our president-elect is Samantha Kamini. She is from the North Central and Sandhills region. Our post-secondary collegiate vice president is Aaron Green. Our vice president is from the Piedmont Triad Southwest regions, and her name is Nayeon Kim. Our secretary is from the Northeast Southeast regions, and her name is Lexi Denning. The Northwest and Western region state officer position is vacant as we had no applicants during the application process. That will be revisited when we take applications for the following year's state officers. Here is a breakdown of the areas that these particular state officers represent. As you can see, Nicholas Ballard, our president, he represents the entire state of North Carolina. Aaron Green, our post-secondary collegiate vice president, represents all post-secondary collegiate students across the state. Nayeon Kim represents the Piedmont Triad Southwest regions. Samantha Kamini represents the North Central and Sandhills regions. And Lexi Denning represents the Northeast Southeast regions. The vacancy for Northwest Western regions will be covered in assistance of Nicholas Ballard and other state officers. The North Carolina HOSA Board of Directors is listed here. These are the delegates that are on this Board of Directors that serve to represent our state. You can see that Arjun Kashava is our chair for this coming school year. So if you have any questions for the Board of Directors, you can certainly direct those to him or any other representatives. Each region has a board representative, so you can see those listed on this slide for you. If you have questions, that region representative is your first stop. Please direct all questions to them. They have a lot of answers, and if they don't have the answers, they can get them for you. That will make your process go a lot smoother. We do have some vacant Board of Director positions that will be addressed in the future. Particularly our Sand Hills region is vacant. If you are an advisor in the Sand Hills region and are interested in serving on the North Carolina HOSA Board of Directors, please reach out and let me know. Here again is our state broken down by region. This map can also be found on the homepage of our North Carolina HOSA website at nchosa.org. Here is each region broken down for you so you can see the counties that fall within that region as well as the board representative that represents that region. For Northeast region, it is Brittany Palmer. For Southeast region, it is Amanda Jenkins. For North Central region, it is Benicia Ledford. For the Sand Hills region, that position is currently vacant. For the Piedmont Triad region, it is Kim Barkley. For the Southwest region, it is Angie Stiegel. For the Northwest region, it is Amanda Combs. For the Western region, it is Christy Reagan. All of these region representatives' contact information will be listed on the North Carolina HOSA website. Our North Carolina HOSA state staff consists of myself, Jennifer Epperson, your Executive Director. You can see my contact information listed there. And we are currently in the process of appointing a state officer coach who will work with our state officers. North Carolina HOSA is very lucky to have representation on our international HOSA level. The current international HOSA president for 22-23 is Kartik Tyagi, who is from North Carolina. At the most recent International Leadership Conference, the president-elect was chosen for next year, and we have North Carolina's own Anna Fang, who is now the International HOSA president-elect for 22-23. It's great to have North Carolina representation at the international level, and we are very proud of Kartik and Anna. Our North Carolina HOSA competitive events team is listed here. The names listed in yellow are pending confirmation. We hope that they will confirm and continue in those roles. Your Director of Competitive Events for 22-23 is Adriana Sloan. Co-Director is Michelle Collins. Membership. We are excited that our membership grew for 2021-2022. We had 6,507 members. You can see here the breakout of total members per division. We had 269 advisors. There is lots of room for growth. We would love to see our numbers climb. We strongly encourage you to reach out to other schools that you may know of and encourage them to start HOSA chapters. If you are a secondary advisor, we strongly encourage you to reach out to your corresponding middle school and seek to start a chapter there. That is a great way of improving your chapter and helping your numbers, as those students will feed into your chapter in the future. We had a total of 185 chapters for 21-22. We had 172 secondary high school chapters, 7 middle school, 6 post-secondary collegiate. We had an increase of 57% from 2020 to 2021. So we are starting to rebound from COVID, and we looked to grow even more in this coming year and get higher than our pre-COVID levels. Recruitment of members. The fall is a big time to have membership drives. Also during the spring, as you change semesters, is another great time to recruit members for your HOSA chapters. It is not just for those in your health science education classes. HOSA is for anyone interested in health professions. So maybe they're not taking your health science classes, but they're interested in healthcare. They can certainly be in your HOSA chapter. Maybe by being in HOSA, it will inspire them to actually take your health science classes. Again, middle school interest in your area. Think about what schools feed your high school. You can adopt a middle school chapter and help them get started. High school advisors can be an advisor for a middle school chapter. Ways to incorporate them into your high school problem would be via Zoom for chapter meetings. Make sure you remember what's in it for the students. For HOSA, how do you make it fun? What do you teach the students in your meeting? What can you do throughout the year to get them involved? Remember, HOSA is a student-led organization, so talk to your students to find out what do they want to do, what do they want to see. That way it's fun and engaging for them. Alumni membership. If you have seniors that are graduating from your school and leaving your HOSA program, make sure they register as an alumni member before they graduate. The alumni membership is free, so they need to do this. That way they can stay connected to HOSA. Think about ways to keep alumni involved. Invite them back to your chapters to be mentors to other HOSA students. They make great guest speakers. They can tell their HOSA story and tell your students about how HOSA helped them as they left high school and went into college or the workforce. Sometimes alumni will donate to your chapter. Maybe alumni are successful in successful careers and are willing to sponsor or donate money to your chapter. Goals for membership for this upcoming year. We are looking to have 7,000 members. Naturally, we would love to have more than that, but we would like to reach the goal of 7,000 for 22-23. There is opportunity for growth in all divisions, particularly middle school and post-secondary collegiate. We also would love to have lots more secondary chapters. Remember, you can add members throughout the year. So if you affiliate members in the fall and a month later you have someone that wants to join, that is just fine. You can add them as you go. Just remember to send those affiliation fees to the Texas address. Fundraising is an important part of having a HOSA chapter. This is a way that you can raise funds that make it easier for students to attend conferences. There are lots of different ways of fundraising. Some of those that have been popular fundraisers that are associated with our HOSA organization is Right Response. This company has emergency kits that you can get and sell. There's been a lot of success, as you can see, from various different organizations. They are a great sponsor and partner with HOSA for a fundraiser. There are also other companies that are partners for fundraising listed on our website. There's Ozark Delight Candy, Abbey Candles, other different vendors are listed there as well. There's some general information sample letters and handbooks that are available to help you with fundraising opportunities. There are lots of easy ways for everyone to support North Carolina HOSA. There is a button on our website to donate. So if there's someone that would like to donate to the future of our healthcare professionals, they can click donate on our HOSA website and it will give them a place to do so. Another way to support North Carolina HOSA is through Amazon. We all love Amazon. I'm sure many of you love to order from there just like me. I laugh and say I need to get rid of my relationship because my credit card keeps going up and up. But you can do your Amazon ordering through smile.amazon.com. It will still access your same account. It's going through there, and you designate which nonprofit that you would like to support. Please make sure you select North Carolina HOSA, and then Amazon will give a donation to North Carolina HOSA based on how much you order. So please be aware of that to help support North Carolina HOSA. There's also a place that can be clicked on our Facebook page to donate to North Carolina HOSA as well. Competitive events updates for the upcoming year. We follow the HOSA International process for competitive events. Please remember that competitors may only compete in one competitive event. They may also compete in recognition events, but only one competitive event. These can be differentiated upon on the HOSA.org website. This is National HOSA's website, HOSA.org. And if you click on the competition tab, there you can see the guidelines for the competitive events. These guidelines are updated usually by September 1st each year. So there could be small changes to various competitive events that are there. Could be new competitive events added. If it is an existing competitive event, any updates from the previous year will be listed in the top of the guidelines. So make sure you look for those. Please make sure that students are aware that they need to review the new guidelines that are posted by September 1st to ensure they have all the accurate details for their competitive event. One thing to note as far as voting delegates go, you will have voting delegates for state conference. Each chapter has a specific number of voting delegates based on membership. If one of your students is selected to be a voting delegate for the International Leadership Conference, then they cannot compete at ILC. The schedule for voting delegates at ILC is very rigorous and does not allow for them to compete in competitive events. So please keep that in mind if you want one of your students to be considered to be a voting delegate for ILC. HOSA will post updates as available, as I said, at HOSA.org. So make sure you're looking there for your guideline updates. It should be posted by September the 1st. If you are needing classroom copies of resources for different competitive events, be sure to reach out to the publishers of those resources as many times they are willing to give you a classroom copy. We did receive word at the ILC that we just had in June that there are some new competitive events for 22-23. Middle school will have HOSA Bowl, and for secondary, they will be doing away with biomedical laboratory science and replacing it with two separate events. There will be an event called biotechnology and an event called clinical laboratory science. There will also be a new teamwork event for secondary called mental health promotion. More information about those events will be on the HOSA.org website when the guidelines are updated by September 1st. All advisors have responsibilities for competitive events. If an advisor is attending any of the HOSA conferences, they should be registered as an advisor. You need to bring at least one chaperone with you. You will need someone to help you with your students, as all advisors are required to help with competitive events at all HOSA conferences. This is part of the advisor code of conduct that each advisor signs with affiliation. Competitive events do not happen without advisors. We cannot provide these opportunities for your students without you helping run events. Please remember that you need to bring someone with you to supervise your students while you are helping with your assigned competitive event at each HOSA conference. Saying that you do not have anyone to watch your students is not an excuse to get out of working competitive events. You must bring someone with you if that is needed, because all advisors are required to help with competitive events. This includes regionals, states, and international competition. North Carolina HOSA scholarships will be available again this year. That application will open on January the 4th of 2023. These applications are completed through Tallo. The applications are due by February the 20th of 2023. Please make sure you are aware of these due dates as they are tight so that we can have all information processed and fielded through the individual sponsors of the different scholarships. The scholarship application information will be found on the North Carolina HOSA website under the State Leadership Conference section. The interview process for scholarships will occur at the State Leadership Conference, and those interviews will occur on April the 12th. Please make sure you make arrangements for those students to arrive in time for the interviews at the State Leadership Conference. Regional officer candidates. These candidates will be elected prior to our regional leadership conferences. The application will be available through a form stack link, which will be found under the Regional Leadership Conference section of our North Carolina HOSA website. The application will open on September the 1st of 2022. The deadline to apply will be September 30th of 2022. Please be aware that there is a lot of information to gather for these applications, including transcripts. So please don't let students wait till the very last day. There are teacher recommendation forms that have to be done as well. So please encourage your students to get this done early so that they have enough time to complete the full application process. Candidates who are slated to be a part of the election will be announced on October 8th of 2022. This will be listed under the Regional Leadership Conference section of the website. Electronic voting will occur. The deadline for electronic voting will be October 5th, 2022. We will need to get your voting delegates for your chapter email addresses so we know who to send the electronic voting to. So please make sure when you're registering your students for Regional Leadership Conference that you are identifying who your voting delegates are. For Regional Leadership Conference purposes, each chapter is allowed 3 voting delegates. Regional officers will help during the Regional Leadership Conference. That is why they are elected in advance. If you have students that want to run for a state officer position, this process will begin in January. The application for state officer candidates will be a form stack link that will be available on our North Carolina HOSA website under the State Leadership Conference section. The application will open on January the 4th, 2023, and the deadline to apply is February 20th of 2023. Again, there is a lot of information needed to be submitted for this state officer application. Please encourage students to start early. They will have to have teacher recommendations and transcripts and other things that will have to be submitted as part of the application. So they need to have all of their items ready before they submit the application. The interview schedule will be posted on March the 10th for those who were slated. Interviews will occur at SLC on the first day. at the Sheraton in Greensboro. Interviews will occur on April the 12th. So please make sure you make arrangements for your students to be there in time to do these interviews. State Leadership Conference will begin on Wednesday, April the 12th, with activities, educational symposia opportunities, and opening session beginning on Wednesday. Voting will occur during the SLC 2023 business session. The state officer installation will also occur during SLC 2023. For voting delegates for the State Leadership Conference, that number is determined based on how many members you have in your chapter. Please make sure you indicate who your voting delegates are when you register for the State Leadership Conference. Election to a state office is equal to winning first place in an event. So for travel purposes, for your state officer candidates, many schools require that students place to go to International Leadership Conference. So being a state officer candidate is considered the equivalent to winning first place. There's a minimum of 31.5 out of 45 points to advance to the on-site round. And this information is scored from the application, resume, transcript, and essay. As I mentioned, voting delegates are an important part of our representation process in North Carolina HOSA. Regional level, you will have 3 per chapter. Please remember to identify them as voting delegates when you register for the Regional Leadership Conference. At the state level, it is based on membership, so you can see the breakdown there. Based on how many affiliated members you have, that determines how many voting delegates you receive. Remember to identify your voting delegates when you register for the State Leadership Conference. Of note, the international level voting delegates are appointed and determined by North Carolina HOSA. These will not be the voting delegates that you assign for state level. There are ways for local students to be considered a voting delegate at the international level, and that information will be sent out at a later date. Once again, we will have our state t-shirt and trading pin contest. Students are invited to design our t-shirt and our state pin. These submissions will be due by February 20th. There will be a link for submissions on the North Carolina HOSA website under the State Leadership Conference section. These will be voted on during the business session at SLC. The submissions may contain reference to the international theme, but it is not required. There is a big contest and trading of pins at the International Leadership Conference. So the more unique our pins are, the more desirable they are. So encourage your students to be very unique in their creations so that North Carolina will have the pin that everybody wants to get at ILC. Information about Regional Leadership Conference. It will be $30 per attendee again this year. It does not include a t-shirt. T-shirts will be available to purchase in addition to the $30 registration fee. Regional Leadership Conferences will be live and in person again this year, and those will occur in the month of November. The dates for Regional Leadership Conference will be posted on the North Carolina HOSA website as soon as the region representative makes those arrangements and secures a site. The registration deadline for the Regional Leadership Conference will be October the 10th. So please make sure your students are working on their competitive events and making those choices so that you can have them registered in time by the October 10th deadline. Online testing for the Regional Leadership competitive events will be the week of October 24th through the 28th. Please make sure you register your proctors by October 10th in the HOSA system. Proctors will not receive emails regarding logins and such for the online testing until the week of October 17th. The events that will be hosted for Regional Leadership Conference for middle school and secondary will be posted in a table on the North Carolina HOSA website under the Regional Leadership Conference section. Please continue to check the website for that information that will be posted later on towards the beginning of the school year. The Washington Leadership Academy occurs in September. It is September 24th through the 27th in Washington, D.C. This event is not just for the state officers, but any local chapter members are invited to attend. The registration fee of $500 per attendee includes all of the activities, most of the meals, and transportation around to the different sites that they will visit as part of WLA. Registration will be open from August 1st to the 31st. More information can be found at hosa.org/WLA. You will register students for WLA through the HOSA system that you register for other conferences through. The hotel location is the Hilton Mark Alexandria Center. The set rate for this conference is $172 a night plus tax. There's more information about how to make reservations with the hotel on hosa.org/WLA. The deadline to reserve a hotel room to receive the rate is September 1st of 2022. You are strongly encouraged to make reservations early so that rooms do not fill up. The State Leadership Conference this year will be again held at the Greensboro Sheraton Four Seasons and Corey Convention Center, and the dates for SLC are April 12th through the 15th of 2023. The registration fee will be $80 again this year, and it includes a t-shirt. Please note that students do not have to compete to attend SLC. There are a lot of educational opportunities for students, so we are glad to have them come even if they are not competing. Each chapter may register one administrator for free. You will need to register the administrator and then contact North Carolina HOSA to let us know that you've done so, and then we will adjust the fee after they are added to the registration. State officers, if you have a state officer candidate, you will register them as a state officer candidate. If one of your students is an actual state officer, then you will register them as well, and North Carolina HOSA will adjust the fee for the actual state officer. The registration deadline for State Leadership Conference is February 20th, 2023. Please remember that students who place in the top 5 at regionals, and in some events top 10, for events that require regional leadership competition, will progress to the state leadership level. There are many events that are offered at the State Leadership Conference that do not require regional leadership conference participation. Middle school students are eligible to compete at the State Leadership Conference regardless of how they finish at the Regional Leadership Conference. If your students are interested in applying to be the National Anthem Singer for State Leadership Conference, they will apply this year through a form stack link that will be found on the State Leadership Conference section of the North Carolina HOSA website. These applications will be due by February the 28th. Students in all divisions are eligible to apply to sing the national anthem. Please remember competitive event uploads. If you have competitive event uploads that for secondary students, you will submit those through Tallo. All middle school student submissions will go through a form stack link on the website. These submissions are due no later than February 28, 2023. If submissions are not made in a timely fashion by the deadline, then they will not be considered for competition. Read your guidelines to find out what events require uploads. The Expo and the Educational Symposia for the State Leadership Conference is in planning. We are looking to have full offerings on Thursday and Friday and limited offerings on Wednesday this year. If you have ideas for speakers and vendors for SLC 2023, feel free to send those to slc@nchosa.org. All these educational opportunities are available for all students, and again, students do not have to compete to attend the conference. The International Leadership Conference will be held June 21st to the 24th, 2023 in Dallas, Texas. This is a great opportunity for students to attend. Again, they do not have to compete to attend the International Leadership Conference. There are 4 exciting general sessions. ILC also offers HOSA University for members, state officers, and advisors. There's varying levels of classes offered for the beginners up to advanced. There are many exhibitors and educational symposia offered at the International Leadership Conference. Lots of competitive events that focus on leadership, professional, and technical skills. The annual business meeting of the National Student Organization of HOSA is carried out with the national voting delegates. It's a great opportunity to meet people from across the globe with similar career goals. It isn't called International Leadership Conference for nothing. We do have delegates at the ILC that are from areas outside of the United States, including China, Canada, Korea, American Samoa, and others. It is a wonderful opportunity to meet people from all types of cultures. The theme for International Leadership Conference and the theme for 2022-2023 for HOSA is Beyond All Limits. Again, the International Leadership Conference will be held June 21st through the 24th in Dallas, Texas. Intent forms for ILC are due April the 17th. This is a quick turnaround. Our State Leadership Conference is late this year. Therefore, we have a quick turnaround to be able to get everyone registered in a timely fashion. It is imperative this year that you talk to your students ahead of time prior to SLC to find out what their interest level is in attending ILC. There are intent forms. These are the forms where you tell us who wants to go to ILC, who does not want to go to ILC, and who wants to go to ILC if a spot becomes available. If students who finish in the top 3 are not planning to attend ILC, then we can bump other students up to attend in their place. It is important for North Carolina to be represented in all available slots for competition. So please make sure you are having those conversations prior to SLC so you can turn that intent form in by April 17th. Keep in mind the last day of SLC is April 16th, so that information will need to be submitted by the next day. It is tentatively $140 to attend ILC. We have not yet received information from International HOSA as to what their charge will be for ILC, but we anticipate that it will likely be the same as this past year at $140 per attendee. This price will include a t-shirt. It will include a light-up item and other goodies given as part of the package for ILC. The state pen, you will receive 10 of the state pens as well. Registration for ILC will be due by May 8th for North Carolina participants. You may hear it advertised that the registration deadline is May 15th. That is the deadline for the state to verify their submissions. You need to have your students registered by May 8th so that we are able to verify that registration for our final submission to ILC by May 15th. HOSA University is offered at ILC. There are classes for middle school, local members, local officers, and state officers. Advisors, there are classes offered for you for new advisors and advanced advisors. The cost of these classes range from $25 to $50 unless International HOSA raises those or changes them before the next ILC. You will register for these classes as part of your ILC registration. Please remember, when you register students for conferences, you need to have their money in your hands before you do so. If you register people for conference or for HOSA University, those fees and registration monies will be due to North Carolina HOSA regardless of whether the student pays you or attends. There are loads of expo opportunities and workshops offered at ILC. This past year, at the 2022 ILC in Nashville, Tennessee, there were 64 educational symposia on Thursday and 54 on Friday. There were 124 expo vendors, and many of the vendors had interactive booths where students could participate in activities. You don't want to miss out on this exciting opportunity. It was also announced at the 2022 International Leadership Conference that HOSA will again continue to partner with Be the Match for the National Service Project. This is a premier HOSA service project partnership, so Be the Match will be our service project from here on out. When you attend competitions and conferences, if your students place and receive awards and you are not present to accept the awards for in-person events, you can reach out by email to these following email addresses, and those awards can be shipped to you, but you will be invoiced for the shipping cost. So please try to make sure that someone is available at your different conferences to receive the awards and bring them back to you if you are unable to stay. Please note, for ILC, you will be emailing the National HOSA office to get those awards. So just a quick overview of our website real quick. When you log on, we have worked hard to update the website over the last several years. You have lots of options to choose from. This is your place to go for all things North Carolina HOSA. You most likely will find the answer to all of your questions here before you ever have to call someone. So we strongly encourage you to check here to find the answer before you are contacting your board rep or the North Carolina HOSA office. There is a section on the North Carolina HOSA website that says Help Desk. If you are needing some help with any issue that you cannot find, you can click on the Help Desk section and send in a ticket. Please select what it is pertaining to. That helps us route it to the right location to get you the answers that you need. Please allow 2 to 3 business days for a response. Make sure you fill in all pertinent information. This is the National HOSA website, hosa.org. A lot of information can be found here as well. As you see here at the top, it has a login section on hosa.org. This is a place you can go to click and get the link to be able to log in to the HOSA system. This is where you will go to affiliate your members and register for all conferences. You will need your charter number as your login and then the password that you created that goes with that particular login. If you do not remember what your password is, you can click Forgot Password right next to where it has the login section and enter your charter number, and then you will receive an email at the email listed in the HOSA system to reset your password. If you do not receive that email, please contact North Carolina HOSA and we can assist you in getting that password reset. There is also a location on the North Carolina HOSA website where you can go to reach the National HOSA system login. If you click on Advisors, you will see there at the bottom of the drop-down menu, it says HOSA system login. So you have 2 avenues in which you can get to the login section for the HOSA system. So, membership affiliation system and conference management system. Make sure you ensure your information is correct. If you forgot your password, please request a password reset or let us know if we can help. Once members are affiliated, they are not deleted. So when you log in to affiliate, you will have members from previous years in there that you can select. Please make sure you verify that the information is correct. If you are a new advisor, verify that the student's name is spelled correctly and that you have their most current email address. Remember, personal email address, not school email address. If you have a student that does not have a personal email address, you can use maybe their parents' email address or something so that they get the information, but please do not use their school email address. And also, please do not put your email address as the advisor. That is not going to help the situation either. We need personal email addresses for the students. Also, make sure you collect your affiliation fees prior to affiliating the member. Once you affiliate the student, then you are responsible for paying those affiliation fees regardless of whether the student pays you or participates in HOSA. If you need a chapter number, complete the North Carolina HOSA Help Desk ticket, and we will be glad to get you one and get you started in a new HOSA chapter. The live HOSA update session for the CTE Summer Conference will occur on Monday, July the 18th at 8 o'clock a.m. in Gallery Ballroom. There will be additional HOSA updates that will be shared, and there will be a demonstration of how to obtain an immediate invoice off of the HOSA system if you need it prior to the invoices being sent through QuickBooks. Remember, you can always click the North Carolina HOSA Help Desk ticket section on the website if you have any questions at all between now and CTE Summer Conference. I'm excited for our new year, and I look forward to meeting all of you in person and putting names with faces. If you are not currently a North Carolina HOSA advisor, we would love for you to start a chapter, and we have lots of folks that are ready and willing to help you do so. Please remember that HOSA is a student-led organization, so your students will do a lot of the work. You are simply there as a liaison between the student and the North Carolina HOSA office. If you are interested in starting a new chapter, please let me know so we can get you all up and ready prior to the school year kicking off an affiliation. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I'm excited to be your new executive director, and I look forward to a great year, and I'm here and willing to help in any way that I can. Please just reach out and let me know how I can do so. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in person at the CTE Summer Conference.